Hello again and welcome back to my channel, my little knitting yarn place here on YouTube. I'm not alone today. I have Lola with me. She's just cleaning herself, so you won't probably see her that much. But I wanted to sit down real quick today because tomorrow I'm actually leaving for Portugal for 10 days, and to kind of keep myself busy on the plane, I wanted to edit a video. And also I thought, if I don't do it beforehand, I'm gonna maybe do it after, but I don't know how much knitting I get done, or maybe I'll buy a lot of new things. And also I want to do a vlog thing from my trip there, so I was like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna do it now. And then I have a sort of before my trip situation. And then I can do like a vlog, and maybe I'll buy some yarn. I'll probably buy some yarn. And I'll do a separate video about that. So today I just want to do a bit of a knitting podcast idea. I actually have two projects done that I really want to show you. And I bought a lot of yarn. I'm not ashamed for it, even though I should be, but I'm not, because it does spark joy, so I'm happy. So yeah, I'm definitely going to talk about two finished objects that I have, and then I have I would say two whips, one that I started last night, which will be the whip that I will take on my trip as well. And then I have one very small sock that I also showed in my previous podcast that I've barely touched, but that's like my on-the-go project, so I have a little bit of progress, but not a lot, because in the meantime I actually worked on one project that I think this might have been my quickest knit ever, I wanted to say. I think I don't really remember when I cast this on or when I bought the yarn. I will look it up or put it here or put it in the description, because I feel like this has been in the last like 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. It's been really quickly. But first I'm going to talk about my other big project. First finished object, which if you watched my previous video should not be a big surprise, because it was kind of a project vlog situation. It is, oh, you can't really see it that much, but it's the, I want to say porcelain sweater, but it's not. It's the Terracotta sweater by Lynette. I finished it, I've worn it, I love it already. Yeah, this is such a nice sweater. I'll put a little bit of content here of me wearing it. But I'm absolutely in love with this sweater. When I was working on the body, and even, yeah, I think before blocking, maybe even, no, when I was working on the body still, I really thought that it would be way too big. But it's actually not. It's actually perfect. It just fits perfectly. I knitted a size extra large, but my gauge was, I had a lower stitch count on my gauge, so my gauge was a little bit different, so I think it's somewhere between a large and an extra large, which I have to say immediately, it's not the most size inclusive sweater or pattern. Even like I don't know, like I've never created a pattern myself, so I don't really know how, technicality, I can't really say if it could have been different, but I just noticed that the difference between a large and an extra large is quite big compared to the smaller sizes. And then also I think it only goes up to 2 double XL. But side note, it is, I think I have to look up, I think if it's for a bust circumference that is, I would say larger, like bigger than most 2XLs are, because it's a very oversized fit. But if you have a larger bust circumference and you want to have that, that oversized look, then I don't think it's the most inclusive pattern, which is very unfortunate. And I must say, I only kind of noticed it when I was almost done. It's very weird. But yeah, that's something for myself to keep in mind for the future. But yeah, pattern-wise, this was such a blast to work on. I really, really, really enjoyed it. There's a few things that I want to say did differently. So I know that I watched one of the videos of Woozy by Celine, and I think she mentioned it in her, I want to say project, I don't know if it's a project vlog or just a podcast, but she already mentioned that the German short rows in the back. So here, wait, ooh, I think you can kind of see it. It really kind of goes by just sort of like steps, if you know what I mean. And she's like, she said that if you would pick up the stitches below, so not the stitches that were mentioned in the pattern, but the stitches below that, it's not that bad. And I kind of agree. But of course the line is still very much visible. But yeah, I thought that was a good tip from her, so I'm very happy I watched that video. And then for picking up the sleeves, there was a very elaborate explanation of, because you have the color work here, like the amount of stitches you should pick up there and there and there. I don't knit like that. And I am very much an ADHD girly. So if you tell me very specifically what to do, I can't. My brain just can't not comprehend. So usually I just see the amount of stitches I have to pick up, and then I'll do that. I'll put like, it's like a placement here to know, okay, I need to do half of the stitches before that placement and the other half after, and then I'll just figure it out. So it looks pretty, I would say it looks really well. I'm really happy with how it looks. I mean, yeah, sure. But to be honest, I don't really care that much. It looks great. Especially also because it's such a drop shoulder construction, you don't really see it. And then I did do a normal rib for both the sleeves and the bottom. But for the collar, as you can see, I did a half twisted rib. I just prefer the look of it. It's not in the pattern, but I just really like that look. It just looks to me a little bit more neat than a normal 1x1 rib would be. I don't know what video I saw, but I've been consuming a lot of knitting content, obviously, and I saw someone, I don't really remember who, starting to do a rib in the back or like on the wrong side, and that was such a smart thing. I don't know, like imagining like this on the right side, like the proper way, just I don't know if that makes sense right now, but I thought that was such an interesting way, because your wrong side of your 1x1 rib always just looks neater in my opinion. So I think I'm gonna try that maybe for next project. For this I didn't, but yeah, so it's just tell a little bit about the construction. It's a drop shoulder construction with pieces of like forget the name all the time. It's like color work, and then you have some sort of broken rib construction parts in between, and it's just very nice product to work on. I did not use the yarn recommended, because the recommended yarn was Thin Silk Mohair, Pure Gynt, sorry, and the Thin Silk Mohair together. But I don't know, I didn't really want to do mohair. I also just didn't want to pay that much money. So I just did the normal Pure Gynt. Same colorway as one of the pattern examples. Very straightforward, I would say. And this is my second time working with this yarn, but my first time as a garment. Like, I made mittens before, and I really love the yarn. It feels very sturdy, but also quite soft, especially after washing. This sweater does need a block for sure, because of the broken rib. It can really become like a, the Michelin Man guy. So that definitely is needed. It is pilling at some places a little bit, but to be fair, I've been wearing it sort of as a jacket because the weather has been like quite nice out here. So, but not like warm enough for just a t-shirt. So I've been wearing it as a jacket outside. So that might, it has been already used properly, I would say. Lovely pattern. I'm really happy. Recommend. Side note, size inclusivity could be a lot better. And that is the first finished project. Then I have one other one. It just came off the blocking mats. I did already wear it yesterday, but then I was like, I still need to really want to block it. It's still a little damp, but I really wanted to show it. But it's the second time I've knitted this. It's the Sabai top. I have to look up the name from who it was. I'm very sorry, I'm very bad with names. But yeah, it's the Sabai top. It's very popular at the moment, which I definitely understand. It's a very easy construction. It's very basic, but lovely. It's like a boat neck, and you just start by knitting in a round, doing some increases, and then you do the back panel, front panel, do increases for the arms, and then just work it around. Very straightforward. I haven't worn it after blocking, but I did wear it yesterday when I was out for drinks with friends. And 2 days ago. And I must say, I also had that the first time when I knitted it. And my best friend is also making the Sabai top. That the armholes, if you follow the pattern, are really quite tight under the arms. So for my first, the first version that I made, I am definitely going to frog that one, unfortunately. Also because I did make it a little cropped, and it's not really the vibe anymore that I want to have my clothes in, but it's a little bit too tight around the arms. And because that also is a tight fitting top, it just feels like it's just really like sinking in too much. Well, this one also has the same problem. Well, I would say problem if you want that kind of, if you like that, or it's not an issue, but I'm quite sensitive, I would say, and I have big arms. Because I do a lot of weight training, I feel like I'm just not really, I don't really like that too much, but because this one, I made it a little bit oversized, I'm not bothered by it at all, actually. And it still has enough space to, get some fresh air down there. But that is something to keep in mind. I know that my best friend is also thinking about doing some extra rows before connecting for connecting in around, basically. So I don't know if other people have the experience with the Sabai top. Let me know, because it might just be me and her by accident. That we just have that issue, but as I said, I'm not bothered by this one at all. And it is kind of nice to not really have too low cut that you can see like your bra strap or whatever. So yeah, as I said, I still have to put it on and see if it's still a thing. But then the yarn, this yarn, I mean, I would say the color on my camera kind of makes it more yellow-ish, orange almost, but it is definitely green. So yeah, it has some light, like yellowish vibe. Oh, that now is really yellow. Look at that. But it definitely is more green than that. But I went to my yarn store around the corner, which is always very dangerous. And I was not in the best mood because I just heard something. I was just let go of my job, which is really sad. So I was looking for a pick-me-up, and I saw this beautiful Noro yarn. So yeah, I had to buy 2 skeins, and I have the tag somewhere. Oh, that's too sad. Okay, well, unfortunately, I still had the tag of the colorway and exact thing, like the exact name of the yarn. But I think my boyfriend tossed it when he was cleaning, which is lovely that he cleans, but unfortunately he tossed that one out, but I'll put it in the description. But it's like I want to say linen, cotton, viscose, and one more thing blend in this beautiful green, and I love it so much. And I used 2 skeins for extra large size. Also with this, I didn't mention that for the sweater I used the recommended needle size. For this one I went down in needle size. I think the recommended is a 4. I did it on a 3.75. So not that big of a difference. And I have a little bit left, but I don't know where it is. Oh yeah, here. This is it. This is what I have left. It's like a little bit, a teeny tiny bit. The beginning I was a little bit scared that I was going to make it, but I didn't want to buy another one. I was like, no, that's just ridiculous, because I think recommended was a little bit more meters than I had on these skeins, but I was like, I'll just see how far I come, and then at one point I was like, disappointed, like, oh, I think actually I'm already happy with the length. So I did make some adjustments. One at the bottom is that I did like a one sort of row of a 1x1 rib. I don't really know if you can see it, like a 1x1 rib, and then I did one just knit stitching around, and then I cast off. I did just do a normal cast off, so it's not stretchy, but because it's just very wide and flowy, it's okay. It's fine, like I don't need it to be stretchy at all. And then another thing I changed is because I made it more oversized than I initially wanted it to be, but I kind of like the fact that it was larger around the breast area, because relatively I have like a larger chest circumference and low waist. If I have a top that fits well around the waist, it just cinches at my breasts, and then the other way around, it just really is wide. So I like the fact that I had the room, because I really wanted to have an airy, flowy top. But then because of that, I did decide to make sort of a, what's the word again? To do body shaping, waist shaping. So I did some just out of my head. I did not really write down. I just winged it. I did like a decrease, as you can see here, at the sides, and then I did a little bit of an increase again. And I looked on internet, like, what do people do with decreases, you know, for waist shaping. There you go, that's the word, waist shaping. And I think people were saying, oh yeah, I should not do more than like 4-ish centimeters, or maybe that amount maximum, because it might look weird. I did a lot more than that, I think. But it still looks good. So yeah, I did quite a lot of decreases, and then around my waist I did like 2 rounds of increases again, just to give it a little bit of that look. And it looked really nice, and I'm really happy with it. So I don't really know else what to say about this. Yeah, it's a nice pattern. It's a great just summer top. I really love a boat neck. I love myself a boat neck. It really smells nice because it smells like the washing. All right. Okay, so that is it for finished objects. Then I'm gonna show you the eeny beady beady titty billy thingy. What I did yesterday is I started on the, I don't remember their name. It is by Ozetta. I want to say that something tea. I'll put it down here. So there's the normal version, or like the one color, and the striped version. So I already bought yarn. When I was feeling sad, I bought yarn, and I already knew what kind of projects I wanted to make, but then I just wanted to look for a pattern. And I first thought I'm just gonna do a very simple drop shoulder t-shirt, but then I saw that pattern by Ozetta, and I was like, oh, that's nice. Just, I'd never done a saddle shoulder construction before. And I saw her striped version, and I really loved that one. So I was just decided to do that. But then for the striped, I don't know, I was kind of confused by the yarn choice compared to the normal one. And then, I don't know, long story short, I decided to buy the pattern for the one color version also because my boyfriend actually started his same tee yesterday. So we're doing the same t-shirt. We're doing the same pattern. He is still working on his sweater, but because we're going on vacation tomorrow and it's going to be a little bit more warm, and also we don't want to bring a big chunky sweater with a lot of yarn, he also just wanted to do like a summer tee. So we decided to do it together and help each other. Well, me mostly helping him, which is fine. He helping me mentally. So yeah, I thought that was fun to just do that together. But because I'm now doing the one color pattern, but I wanted to do a stripe, I have to do my own sort of calculations of when I should start the other yarn and stuff. So I kind of looked at the I kind of look at the other pattern for the stripes. Okay, like how many stripes does she do? And long story short, I'm just winging it again. So this is what I have. This is it. I made a gauge swatch yesterday, and then I frocked it because I want to use all the yarn that I buy because I don't know if I have enough. But yeah, so the idea is of making 2 shoulder patches and then pick up stitches for the back, do some German short rows, and that is how far I've read the pattern so far. But I'm assuming it's the same for the front, and then working down and then in around, and then some sleeves. That's what I think. But as I said, I only watched the first part. Then for the yarn, I got 2 beautiful colors. I think they're beautiful because this was the color combination that I saw in store and I fell in love with. So this is the stripes, and it is the cotton wool, Linea Pura cotton wool by Lana Grossa. It is 53% merino and 47 cotton. This is in the color 029. And then this is in the color 035. I don't know, I'm obsessed with this green. Obsessed with it. But I thought this is kind of, especially compared to this one, a lot brighter. This is also a little more yellow toned. But I thought just a t-shirt with this might be too much. I don't know, maybe. And then I saw in my little, I don't know if you know this book, but it's like a Japanese book of like color combinations, which is, I love it so much. And I saw a combination of, it was kind of that green, but I think it was a little bit more of a, I don't know if I'm gonna find it that quickly. Maybe I will, question mark, or I won't. I don't think I will, but it's a color combo of the green, which is really bright, and then the red was a little bit more, a little darker, I would say. But you know what? Who cares? Who cares? I think this will be beautiful. So cast that on yesterday. This will be, I think, the only project I'm gonna bring on my trip, because I usually work on my Chaogu needles, but I'm not gonna bring that in a plane because I only have my hand luggage. Thus far, I have been very lucky and blessed that my needles have not been confiscated, but I always brought wooden needles, and I tend to bring like smaller wooden needles, and then I put like needle stoppers on them, and I usually keep them separate from like my cables. And so far it's been fine, but I really don't want to risk my Chaogu needles and more than one pair, to be honest. So I'm just gonna do this project and I think we'll be fine. We're probably gonna do a lot of eating and walking around and also chilling, and I think this will be such a fun project to take along. So that's what I'm gonna bring. That is it for this project, actually. I don't really have anything else about that to say. And then I was working on another one, and I'm gonna, not quite sure. This is one I have picked it up a little bit, but I think about it, I talked about it before, but it's the Matteo sweater, and I haven't really touched it that much, so I'm not gonna really show you any more than that. Then I have another project, and I'm just gonna look for it. Okay, found it. It is the Everyday Sock, I think it's the Everyday Sock by Petite Knit. I think the first time I showed it, I was just working on the rib part, and now I have started on the foot. I've finished the heel and the, I don't know. I'm just gonna work on the foot now until I'm long enough, and then I cast down, like decrease. Can you, does it show that I'm tired? I just worked a few hours and also just cleaning the house and thinking about all the things I need to bring. And it's been just a very emotional, chaotic time that I'm just very tired. So sorry if my brain is not working. Okay, so that is the other work in progress. But then I have some yarn acquisitions. So I already told you about the Noro yarn. I will show a little bit of a clip of the skein here. I was so in love with that. I really love Noro yarn, and I'm actually going to Japan at the end of the year. So I'm gonna buy so much of that Noro yarn. It's just beautiful. I'm probably gonna bring some for my mom, who I know will love it, and maybe if my friends are nice to me, I'm gonna bring them some. And then I also, of course, bought for the t-shirt, I bought 3 skeins of this color, 3 skeins of the other. And then I have a bag. Because, you know, I had an idea, like my slippers. I don't know if you watched my previous vlog, but I've been wearing these sort of slippers that I got from my mom for Christmas. I want to say like 13 years ago. It's ridiculous. But these are the slippers and I still wear them and I think they're quite comfortable, but I got shamed by one of my friends that I should really get rid of them, and one of them does have a hole, so I thought I should get new slippers. But then I saw, of course, the sailor slippers, and I really love that idea, and I really want to get a little bit more color in my life. So, sorry about the noise in the back. There's a... Okay, it got really bad, so I'm happy that I paused the video for a little bit. But yeah, I got... a lot of yarn. To be fair, this is not only for me, this is also for my boyfriend. I'm gonna make him some sailor slippers as well. I'm gonna show you his color combination first, which I think is really cool. He really has a... because we started running, both of us, and we're gonna do a quarter marathon in October. And it's crazy because I never expected I would be that person who would start running. I'm really a strength-based girly, so this is insane. But it's been going really well. But he decided to buy a rain running jacket, which is really cool, and the color combination is great. And it's kind of like cobalt with a yellow combo. So this is kind of the vibe he's been going for. And then for the, what's it called, the bottom of, I don't know the word anymore. The bottom of the slipper will be dark brown, so kind of like a navy. So this will be the color combination for his slipper, which I think is amazing. So I think this is just as an accent color, and this is the main color, and then for the bottom it will be this. So I think that is great. And then for me, I'm also gonna do the dark blue as a bottom, but I'm gonna make striped again with the green, obsessed with it, with this purple, and then an accent color. I'm gonna do a bright red. So this is all drop snow. I'm gonna give you the numbers real quick. So the dark blue is the number 15. The cobalt blue is 104. The yellow is 24. The green is 29. 29. Sorry. And the purple is 54. And then the red, 56. I'm really excited to work on that. That will be definitely a project when we get back. I saw videos of people who do it like in an afternoon, so we'll see. If I'm like very lazy or something, I might just do it really quickly, but we'll see. So that is a bunch of yarn that I bought. As I said, do I feel shamed? No, I don't. I feel very happy. And then I also bought one last thing, which was kind of stupid in a way, because I finally sort of got together a lot of my scrap yarns, put it in a bag, and started to create an idea of the Olymp sweater by Le Pool. That will also be a thing to start with when I'm back, obviously, because I'm not going to bring all those scraps. But then for the border, I don't really had a yarn that I was happy with of, you know, that border color, because I really wanted to have like a more neutral, quiet border, and to be fair, I really love her look, like for her example. So I did buy something that came close. Would this count as butter yellow? Maybe, potentially. I'm not a butter yellow person in the sense that I love the color, but I don't like it. Doesn't look good on me. But then I think with all the popping colors that will be in the sweater, it will be beautiful. This is Soft Cotton by Lana Grossa in the color 11. So this will just be for the border, and then I promise for the rest it will be only scraps. I promise. So I think that is the last acquisition that I have. I do really want to show you the yarn that my boyfriend got yesterday. We went to another yarn store. I'm very blessed to have 2 yarn stores close to my home. So as I said, he's also making the same t-shirt from Ozetta, and he got this new yarn, which is so cool. It's from Lang Yarns and it's called Duett. I don't know if you can see, but so it's kind of like a gray, I want to say like like a gray color, but then it has almost like a oceany blue, green blue woven into it. And I just really want to see if he started. He did start on it, but where did he leave his little, oh yeah. Okay, so sorry, honey. You can see like a little bit. I don't know if you can. Maybe when I'm editing it, he has a little bit more knitted so I can like put a video, because it looks so cool. And I think this would suit him amazing. And I'm very happy because I found that when we were in the yarn store, there was a lot of beautiful colors, but I can imagine for a man who just started knitting, who is trying to knit something that will fit in his sort of all-day wardrobe. In my opinion, I think men tend to have sort of less options for like funky clothes, or at least, I don't know, it's just, I think it's more common for women to dress with a lot of colors or just, you know, different things. And then also for, I think that's even bigger within the knitting community, because there's just not that many men focused patterns or yarns, or which makes sense because, you know, there are not that many. There are more women knitting than men, I think, probably. But yeah, I think it was kind of a shame because it was a little more difficult for him to pick out a nice yarn. Maybe like the neutral color section would be nice, but I don't know. But I think this one, because it's kind of gray, you can say, okay, it's easy, accessible, but then making it more funky with such a small little strand of color, I really saw him be happy and excited for it, which, you know, I really love that. So I hope we'll find more options like that for him, because I can imagine that for him, maybe like really crazy popping colors for a t-shirt that you have knitted, it can be a little much. Well, for me, I'm like, let's go. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who sees it that way, but that's also fine. All right, I think that is it actually, and I've been yapping for 30 minutes, so I think that's long enough. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, enjoy my yapping. I have to say that I was getting excited a little bit again to sit down and talk, even though it's still kind of nerve-wracking in a way, because I never know how things, you know, come across, because I'm very new at this. But yeah, I really enjoy it, and that's why I keep doing it. And now I'm gonna chill and pack my bag for my trip tomorrow. And I hope to show you some of that as well. So I really hope I can make like a vlog and show you some yarn stores in Lisbon and Porto, Portugal. So for now, goodbye. Goodbye from little teeny tiny baby Lola. Look at her. She's so tired. Okay, well,